So a lot of you guys don't think about being homesick, but trust me, if you're feeling this way and you're at A school or whatnot in the military and you're first starting out, watch this video, or if you're coming into the military very soon, I think this video will be very important to you guys. What is up, guys? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below if you have questions. But as always, let's roll right to the topic, and that is the one thing that is going to make you want to quit the military the most. Think that it's something that is like a hump at the very beginning of your career, which I've been getting tons of messages recently about people asking me, how do you do this? What is going on? Why do I feel this way? And I kind of want to break it down from the aspect of someone that's experienced it myself. I'll tell you this because I eventually, in A school, felt like I wanted to quit. I was like halfway through, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Like, I was questioning everything, and I saw one guy in my class at the time that had decided to go to mental health and try and get out that way. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, maybe I want to get out too. Maybe, you know, I started thinking about this in ways. I kind of just like a day or two was like, oh, I'm just gonna give up and do nothing, you know. And I let it defeat me. But I pushed through that moment because I felt overwhelmed. But I realized after I completed it, and finally when I went past it, I realized that it was actually the best decision I made. I want to say that a lot of people that are joining between the 18 to 22 year range haven't done much to really say they've committed to something long term. Like, school was something you were just kind of forced to go through. It wasn't a goal of yours. It wasn't something that you were trying to achieve. It's hard to understand for a lot of people that haven't had tons of experience with delayed satisfaction. I find this to be the biggest issue for people that are in their late teens or early 20s. So I want to talk about some aspects of what you're going to experience and why you shouldn't want to quit the military, because I can really narrow down a lot of things that I think people act very emotional about, and they're not acting very logically about it. I say being in the military is ripping the band-aid off of being an adult. It immediately says you are responsible. You made this choice. I want you guys to stick with it and realize that it's bound to happen one way or another. These things are going to happen where you're going to have to move on from what was your childhood life and go on to what you create of your own world or your own life as an adult. The first thing I want to go over is a lot of times people are going to miss their family, and I get it. And there's obviously times where you're going to want to go home, you're going to see a birthday party, you're going to see a family reunion of some kind, but realize that's part of this sacrifice. That's part of being in the military. And I know that's not the greatest excuse, but you also knew that. And so it's tough for people to have sympathy for it in that time. But I want to say, realize this as well. Your family is very proud of you. I don't think that they would want you to say, hey, give up on your hopes and dreams and give up on all the pride we have in what you're doing for your country to come home for a holiday every couple times a year when you're actually doing something to better yourself. Most people don't think about that your family is actually supporting you, and they, as much as you miss them, they're actually missing you as well, but they also want the best for you. Through your life that you guys have to understand is you're not going to like everything you do, and there's times where you're not going to like it, but you're going to have to stick it out. And me making these videos, I'm letting you know right now, I've had a lot of really crappy days in the military, and I've had some amazing days, and I've had some just whatever days. But now that I've looked back on that, I'm actually now able to reflect on those times, and I'm like, oh, I actually grew from that. And I think a lot of you guys that kind of stick this out and you realize maybe you wait through your A school, your tech school training, or whatever you're at, or maybe your first command where you're kind of just new and by yourself, realize that time is going to pass. It's not going to be that way forever. Some of you guys have actually been to college before, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I quit college because I didn't realize the opportunity I had there, so I went to the military, and then now I realize what my opportunity is here. But the thing about it is it's hard to jump back to that. And my question to people that are in that situation that are maybe homesick is, what are you going to do that was different the first time you went to college? Are you magically now way more mature than you were 8 weeks ago, you know, when you entered boot camp? No, you weren't. Maybe you just had the realization. But I don't think that quitting the military is the necessary answer for you to continue on or realize that you can do something. You don't know how your life is going to turn out while you're in the military. You could possibly finish most of your degree, have tuition assistance, have all this stuff done, and when you get out, you're in a way better position than you would have been if you quit right when you came in. Maybe you made that short-term, just knee-jerk reaction, I'm not liking this, I'm going to get out as quickly as possible. I think that's a critical question for people that have been to college, because You have to realize, what are you betting on yourself? Are you going to bet that you're going to be the A+ student? Or are you going to bet that this is maybe going to at least let you stall that, mature a little bit, move on, get some work experience? Because trust me, as much as you want to quit and go to college, they're also going to look at your prior history, maybe with a background check, something like that, and see that you were in the military. And you're going to have to kind of explain what happened. And that's where this next part comes into play. You're not going to have a good excuse as to why you got out of the military. I want to be totally honest with you. And I've seen people that have gotten out that have given me some roundabout answer of to why they got out. And it's come down to mental health, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. If you're having mental health issues and it's that bad, I'd rather you not be in the military, just because it's probably not the most conducive environment for you at that point. And maybe you need to sit down, evaluate, change whatever your priorities, your goals are, and kind of, I guess, move on to the next thing. But the reality that's going to come with this is you're going to have to tell people that you quit. Your family's going to know that you quit. And you're going to come up with something that's usually going to be some roundabout answer where your family and you both know that it's not a true 100% answer, if I want to say. And you're probably going to say that you had some other medical condition where they said that you were discharged. I'm saying this out of experience. I'm letting you guys know I've seen it way too many times. Next, I want to say reflect back on what you earned. So yes, your family is proud of you, but realize you have grown in that time from 8 weeks ago at boot camp to A school or at your first command. You've changed a lot. You've adapted. You have more tools in your belt. But I want you to also reflect on that you guys had your entire day rigorously scheduled out in boot camp. You were busy almost every second. Everyone in your group had the same exact goal, to become a member of the U.S. military. Now, the thing is, you've gotten out of that environment where they say, okay, we're only going to take 8 to 10 hours of your day, and you got to figure out what you... And what this comes down to is time management. What satisfies you as a person? What satisfies your military obligation? What satisfies your family if you got to talk to them or whatever? Like, you have to figure those things out. And maybe if that takes you the 5 minutes to write those things down of what your priorities are, go for it. But realize that sitting around and moping about what your priorities are and how they're not maybe exactly in line are not going to get you where you actually want to be. You have to realize the grass is always greener wherever you water it. Meaning, if you're going to water the grass back home and you're going to reflect back on that all the time, every time you can, that water is going to make that grass greener. But if you're going to water the grass that you're standing in right now in the military in your situation, you probably can do better and make your situation better by making your own grass green. And realize the grass over there is not always greener. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm so glad I don't have social media when I first joined the military, because I think a lot of people join the military and they go to their Instagram, they go to their Facebook, they go wherever else, and they see everyone else back home having a good time. The reality of this is everyone posts the good stuff of their life. They're not posting the bad times all the time, maybe a rant or two on Facebook, but most of the time people are trying to show how amazing their life is. Also, why I'm fearful of what I post on this channel, because I don't want you guys to think that the military is the perfect place, the sky is blue, the grass is green, and it's heavenly every single day, because I honestly want to convey to you guys it's not that, but it's one of those like Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off things where you're not going to know how much it's done for you, how it's trained you for life or for experience or whatever else until it's hindsight. My main suggestion is to get off social media. If you're feeling down in the dumps and the kind of self-loathing in those moments, I want you guys to get off the phone and realize if you didn't have your phone or social media, what would you be doing? Chances are you'd be living in the moment. You would find something to do. You would find someone to talk to. You know, it's funny how technology has brought us together as far as being able to talk to relatives far away, things like that. But it's also distanced us at the same time, and it's also brought on this culture of people thinking they're constantly missing out, when I don't think you're missing out. You are just experiencing something that is different from what they are. You guys should definitely be making friends, because these are people you're going to serve with, you may run into again in the military. I want to say the last thing here is, if you're in this rut, you're in this mentality, you need to fulfill your day with a schedule. And like I said before about priorities, schedule everything out. You know your class day, you know your work day, whatever it is. Fill that up, and then the other 6, 8 hours, whatever you have left, say, what is my priority? What can I fit in there? And I promise you, if you stick to these schedules and plan your time out, you're probably going to do better off in the military. You're going to do better off in fulfilling your life. You're going to be better off in creating your own purpose, because I think a lot of people that are in the military that are new forget that you are creating your own purpose in life. And the only person that can create that purpose is you. It's a very sucky situation to be in to try and find that, and I constantly find that as well. And I'm adding new things and putting things off and things like that. And I'll give an example. I always put off fitness stuff, and that's been my biggest weakness. I've been going more towards that, and I said to myself, this is not who I am. I want to change that part of my life, so I'm going to make sure I change this and this. And so far, it's been holding up, but I still have a ton of work to do. And imagine, that's me at 28 years old. So imagine how I felt at 20, 18 years old. I was lost in the sauce. So no one really knows what's going on in life. They're just kind of living day by day and taking the one opportunity at a time, one step. And I know that's going to be very grindy in the military, where every day you don't wake up and say, this is an amazing opportunity. But I want you, in those moments that you feel a suck, look back and say, I'm getting paid to do this. This is not a bad job. I've had a worse experience. My other day that was worse than this, I made it past that day. Sometimes you got to take it day by day. So just be real with yourself that you're going to get through this. But if you are feeling homesickness, or you have a good story about feeling homesickness in the military, or if you're already in and you've had this experience, you want to help other people grow through their own trials and tribulations, post it down below in the comments. But as always, guys, if you do have questions, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.